The big mistake I see often is having a perfect multi-action plan with the wrong person.
Yes.
How do you avoid building a great MAP, multi-action plan, with a coach instead of a champion?
Well, I think the key is you've got to work into the plan when you're going to bring in the right people. And again, it goes back to being very honest with them. Like, look, who else is going to be involved in this? Okay, at these steps is when we typically bring those people in. If I'm able to deliver and we're doing that, will you help to bring those people to the table? That's it. I think if you do a really good job of just saying, look, who else is typically involved? Great. Then this is what the process normally looks like. And you should know that. You sell the product, so you should know who typically needs to be involved. And that's the problem. I think a lot of people, they rely on them to figure it out. Maybe it's like groups that don't collaborate very often, or there's a whole slew of things that could happen. So my advice would be make sure to have that conversation up front. Who's going to need to be involved? Right? And then I usually tell them, like, typically we would have these 3 people, especially if it's a deal that I know it's going to move quickly. And then make sure you help them to understand when those people need to be brought in. And if you do that, you're going to see a lot of people are like, okay, that makes sense. And then you always say that caveat of assuming there looks like there's a fit. Whenever we walk through it, we can put together something to where it's easy for your VP to say yes, then we'll loop them in at the right things. So that's it. So if you kind of remove that sales pressure by saying, like, look, only if we're progressing will we move forward, you know, and here are those people. You do that and you'll get a lot more people. The other thing I'll add, I talked about this earlier, is you get introduced to and you get to talk to people that you sound like. And so if you consistently are talking about administrative features, technical logins, and trainings, I'm not going to let you go talk to my VP because you don't know how to talk business. My VP doesn't talk like that. That's my world. So I think consistently, if reps have to also make sure that the way they're communicating is at a certain level to where then the person that they're working with feels comfortable introducing them.
And that's why you're using words. I've heard you talk about things like typically before. Words that are just like, hey, buy
and I'm not over demoing on the first call. I'm saying, like, look, let's just see if there's something here, Nancy, and like this has happened, this happened, this happened. Is this gonna, is this a potential fit? So I think you can't when you go too technical and you almost do too good a job of being like a tactical person. Or you play to your audience instead of, you always got to play to your audience a little bit, but also if that's not who you want your audience to be, don't play 100% to that audience.